Good morning, good morning. It is finally Friday, and I welcome one and all of you who are listening to Facing Challenges. As you know, Friday is our day that we face challenges. Through the week, some of you may have been faced with many challenges, and we appreciate you. However, if we don't hear from you, we don't know. And the more that we talk, the more that we can feel better. It is National Women's Month, and I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that. As being a woman, as being a woman that has a woman co host, we want to bring to you the many challenges of being a woman. And we want to discuss it openly today. So I thank you for being here. And that is what our podcast is about: facing the challenge of being a woman, or just being a woman. We have so many women in and around our lives. Some of you who are women, you have grandmothers, you have aunts, sisters, mothers, and daughters. Today we're going to address some things that maybe you as a woman are coming to terms with or having to deal with, and for you men to understand women. Because the women that we talk to, they're going to talk to you from their point of view. So we'd love to hear from you if you're a man or a woman. We want you to understand that we have feelings too. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
Thank you for the new clip. And we're going to play that, trust me. This week, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that at 10:30, that is West Coast Los Angeles time, we're going to have group two, group session number two. In case you missed it, you can refer to group one. But today, we're inviting everyone to come in. Uh, if you're living far away, we want you to tune in virtually. It's free, and we want you to hear what we're going to discuss. We're inviting all the locals to come in to our healing center this morning. We're going to be doing this every Friday ongoing. I'd like to say, too, as we face our challenges, Trish, this is for you. Did you know that when I put up the exercise moving in motion, that so many people gravitated toward that? I don't know if you saw that. And we want to thank you guys for that. Come out. There will be no class this Saturday, which is tomorrow. There'll be no class, but that will also be ongoing. Thank you. Thank you. What challenges have you all faced? I want to hear about it. I want you guys to call in, be able to speak freely. Because sometimes we're being faced with challenges that people don't even understand. We want to keep this conversation where it is positive, but we want to be realistic with it. And if you've had any history with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, you know how real it gets here. So let's think about women, and we're going to start with how women have been dealt with from the start of time. A woman was not able to voice opinion, which includes not being able to vote should she choose. A woman was to keep quiet. Her voice didn't matter. If you're a woman and you're listening to us right now, I want you to think about what it means for you. What are some of the struggles that you have had to face? Because we live in a world that women are past all of that. When you think about what a woman has to go through, let's talk about this first. A woman in childbirth. If you're a woman and you have had a baby, then you can appreciate all that comes with child. From the start to the finish. When you carry a baby for 9 months, your body goes through plenty of changes. Think about it. As that embryo grows and grows and grows for 9 months, your body too experiences change. Change within you and changes within the baby that is to be born. Childbirthing, whether you have had the baby by natural, delivering that baby, push that baby out, or by a C-section, the experience is something that you can relate to. And if there's any women here, let's talk about this for a moment. All we can say is it hurts. It hurts. For a woman to be able to go through all of the pain that she has gone through to deliver that baby, wow, she really is Wonder Woman and Superwoman all in one. And here you are, able to give life to another human being. Nothing tops that. Even for the childless woman who has never had a child, just know that your body is one of real value. Are you listening, men? This is National Women's Day. And as I always say, celebrate yourself every day. Women have felt that they are devalued. Women have felt as if their voices don't matter. But if you're a man, I ask you, what was it like to see the woman that you are with, the woman in your life, deliver your child? It is a very heroic experience. There is nothing like it. So don't take that for granted that a woman has your child. Women back in the day were just told to stay home, keep house, cook, clean, and that's what you do. Some men are still feeling that way, but I want to wake you up. We're much more than that. We are women, just period. And a woman is much more than just your average housekeeper, just your average cook. We appreciate all the men who go out and work, but nowadays the women want their freedom to be able to perhaps add to, compliment, and become noticed. It's very important that we understand women. And when I talk about this, I want you to understand that a woman has a right to decide for herself. And I mean this not in the way that you may think, but in becoming a woman with a brain. When a woman makes a decision, you don't own her. Talking to you. You are to compliment her and help her and become a companion to her. She is, as the Bible says, bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. And you are to be close to the woman because the Bible says that a woman was made from a man's rib. That's how close you should be to your wife. It's important that we talk about these things because so many women have been dismissed as they are. Ah, that's just a woman. What does she know? I even found myself being a little biased because I thought that all women are men should only be firemen. I have to be honest. Until I was awoken to realizing that women can be firemen, firewomen too. That women can be police officers too. I was awoken by that. Who said that women couldn't be firefighters? Who said that women can't be mechanics? Single mothers. Single mothers, because there isn't a man in the house, and speaking from experience, have had to learn firsthand on how to fix the sinks, the toilets, and do home repair. Some of the best women that we know today have their own home improvement shows. If you can think of one, can you think of one, Trish?
I can't right now.
Martha Stewart, Rachel Ray, Oprah. The list goes on and on. So they know how to fix it, as it were. Home repair. Myself, as you listen to us every day, I've learned how to unstop the toilet. Plumber issue? Don't worry. YouTube helps me fix it. And that takes independence. Why do we need to be more independent? Because the man, that man, my man, your man, our men, may not always be around. I want you to think about this. What would you do if you had little money and plumbing backs up? And I want to talk about the plumbing because that's a common problem. We don't know what to do, or do we? That's why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, for us to learn and educate ourselves. And that's what we're doing right here, right now, facing the challenge of just being women. You know, some women are judged by their hair. Maybe somebody doesn't like your hair in braids, or somebody doesn't like your hair naturally curly, or they don't like your hair blonde, straight. The issues are ongoing. So what's been your struggle as a woman, Trish?
I would say my struggle for being a woman is body expectations. I would say that because there's a lot of I would say influence in the magazines and the media of what a woman is supposed to look like and what is perceived as attractive to the public eye. But in reality, me as a woman, um, I know what's healthy for me. I know my preference, and that's a good thing to have, a good mindset to have. The independence of what you want to look like and what makes you happy. So that's like one of my struggles as being a woman.
I love that. Thank you for that. And I think for me, my thing is, you know, the thing I said about some women were not to speak up. Well, I've always spoken up. I come from a line of women, starting with my mother, that speaks up. You know, back in the day, women could really be done away with if they spoke up. To me, that's been a challenge because I do it and I need it. That's why I'm here on a national form of a podcast. Some will find it disrespectful that women say what's on their mind. And many women are being in relationships with men who are like their fathers. What do I mean by that? Do as I say. Do as I say. Oh, you women, you've been challenged. Because when you are in relationship with someone, you should compliment each other. I've asked myself over and over again, why do women put up with getting into relationships with not their boyfriends, not their spouses, but again, acting as if these men are their fathers? What is up with that? Have I awoken you? Because there are so many women who are in relationships like that. Could it be that women were missing their fathers? Fathers were absent in the home? Or
I was
perhaps,
thinking that.
go ahead, Trish. Go ahead, baby.
I was thinking that too. Like that's probably the reason. It's probably the reason because they have no figure to look at to give them an example of who they should be with.
Or perhaps father is in the home. Thank you for that. And you watch the role of your father. So you seek out men who resemble your father. Which relationship are you in? You know, because some people I've asked, is that your father or your boyfriend or your husband? Because I tell you, I will be with no man who emulates wanting to be my father. I've already had one father, and I thank God for him, despite challenges, whatever they were, that he kept food on the table. Hard working. But if I want to marry my father, then that's a whole different thing. You men, stop treating your women like they're your children. A man that rules over a woman, where are you getting that from? That's a whole nother podcast. And don't worry, men, we have one for you as well. So back to National Women's Month. Women have had to deal with sexual violence, domestic violence, low pay, inequality in healthcare, get into conversations with people who need healthcare. Remember the thing I said about the childbirth and birthing a child? That's a time in a woman's life where she needs that. Some women don't bother to get it as they should. And women, please, if you are pregnant or think you might be pregnant, please get it checked out. Don't go through your whole 9 months and ignore that you have a human life. Prenatal vitamins are so important. Please remember taking care of yourselves. I want to get on that subject because sometimes I'm not taking care of myself. What do I mean by that? sometimes I'm really tired and I will push myself. It's almost like having a runner, and the runner hasn't fueled themselves with the nutrients to keep going, not having the necessary sustenance. Because why? You have to win this race. But suppose I'm midstream in the race, almost to the finish line, and I pass out because I missed the watering. Suppose I pass out because I didn't check my heart or my blood pressure. I honestly, ladies and gentlemen, waited a whole year or 6 months to get a test that I really needed because my hip has been in so much pain. It wasn't like I didn't go get the work done. As a woman, I thought, I don't want the bad news. But why keep in the dark about your medical self? You must know. You must know. So guess what? 2 weeks ago, I finally got the diagnosis. Taking care of myself as a woman. The result of the test was that I had a bulging disc in my back. That's all it was. And now I have to proceed with what I need to do, being active in my choices. We must make decisions about ourselves, our health care, finding ways to be able to help ourselves. We're not living in a world that is uneducated. Anything you want to know, anything you want to do, we now have Google. The world is advancing when it comes to technology. We have AI. I'm not really a fan of AI, but I think a lot of things are really cool. Our very own AI. You tell AI what you want it to do, and it does it. That's pretty smart. So stay aware, stay awake when it comes to you as a woman. I was in the store this week, and I simply was just being kind, not flirtatious, none of that. The man that was at the cashier purchasing some gift cards took my being kind as if it were meant for something else. He proceeded to ask me if I was married. I said, no, not looking for anybody at the moment. And if I do, I want them to be spiritual. No sooner than I said that, he turned around and asked me if he could have my phone number. I said, no, thank you. He said, why? Because I'm not interested. Thank you, though. What am I getting at? This kind of harassment that's been on women. And you men, you have it too. I get that. When a woman says no, take her or her word. I don't care what she does or what she's wearing. Because you men will blame the women and say, well, she had this on. She was trying to entice me. And you women, stop walking around here half naked. Embrace yourself. You are sorely missing something when you go out and you think what you're wearing is the end or the in thing. I'd like to quote something from a very notable celebrity that noticed at the Grammys and these awards show for this 2025, and I'll quote it. And if you know who said it, you don't need to tell who said it, because this is not about name dropping. You're missing the point. She said to the women who were at the awards show with their breasts and their other parts to see. Why? Why is that a statement of I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it? Hello? Caller, are you there? We're on live, guys, so the lines will ring as we've asked them to. She asked why. Why are you doing that? We are in a society of where the independence of us, the freedom of us is being exploited to the point where we're now choosing not to wear clothing, and that's acceptable. Every woman has a right choice. And when we talk about the rights of whether to have a child or not, that's your right as well. But if you choose to do something, why does it have to be accepted by people that wouldn't push the envelope so far? Have respect for yourself, or do you? Embrace yourself, or are you asking the world to embrace you, and yet you don't care enough about yourself? Because that's what we want. We want to see these women who adorn themselves in the right way. We talk about equality of hair and culture and uh, background. I don't think that hair is something that I would worry about, but I would worry about every man looking at that one woman or these women, group of women that want to go and say and tell people when they ask on the red carpet, what are you wearing tonight? You know, it used to be Jimmy Choo, Donna, Karen, or so and so. I don't know any label when you are wearing nudity and they say, what are you wearing tonight? And you reply, nothing, because that's what you're wearing. Please, respect yourselves. Respect yourself enough so that the man that is watching you, he will learn respect. Back to the man that was trying to get my number. People were in the line. There was a lady that was behind me, and she smiled because she knew exactly what I was doing, and I said no the first time. Some of you say no but you're really saying yes. And it isn't cute for you to be half naked in front of thousands of people that come elegantly dressed. What happens? We take it too far. You are a woman and you should be treated with respect for yourself. Can't ask for it if you're not giving it. You know, we speak of equality, and this is a natural, uh, this is a natural neutral podcast, but we need to talk about these things. This is our month of celebration of every woman that you know. When I said that about nudity, did someone in your mind come up? Did you feel like saying, put some clothes on? Are you the next it thing that people are going to say, wow, she really wore that? See, because you could have put on clothes and they could have said, wow, she is really wearing that. You see the difference? Because I can put on something and I really look good in it. And 4 or 5 people will tell me. Nobody's going to tell you that you look great because you decided to wear nothing or wear something that was sheer. You know, back in the day, even my mom to this day, and this is what I love about my mother, is that she's very old fashioned when it comes to that, but I love it. One time I had on a dress. It wasn't provocative. You know what my mom said? How come you don't have a slip? You know, some days people aren't wearing slips, but I got it. And then she continued to say, you're going to wear that? What she was meaning is, where's your slip? And I get that about the slips, because I really hate slips, but there are some times that you do need to have on that slip. So I get that. You say you want to be a leader. You say you want to do this. You say, how come that woman running for president didn't win? We were 100% for that woman, but yet we only have ourselves to look at because we have sat in seats of leadership. We have sat in seats of having our voices heard, not by going out and being rambunctious and tearing up and having the whole nation just in chaos, by our one voice to speak up. Things have been done. Just look around. Women are no longer barefoot and pregnant. That's a choice now. Women are out there working hard. Women are out there getting paid good money to do what they do. Designers, bakers, they made home repair where they're getting top dollars. If you don't believe me, go and watch the home channels of your choice. And they're smart. So women, don't sell yourself short. It is challenging. We are not just our bodies. We are not predictable. We are standards. We are to be respected. We are confident. We are determined. The list goes on and on and on. Our mothers, our grandparents, as our grandmothers have fought to have people look at women, us, are their ones that were going to follow their daughters, my sisters, my aunties, my nieces. They're to be looked on as beautiful women. Have you found that challenging? You know, women vary in personalities. I'm a very outspoken person. Not loud, not with an education, but I will voice as an educated woman. Trish, how do you see yourself as a woman?
I see myself as someone that's very strong minded, and I'm very reserved, but if someone asks me, I'm pretty sure they'd know that I know what I'm talking about and I'm intelligent. So that's the kind of woman I see myself
I
as.
love that. And we want to ask of you all as women what you see yourself. I want to go back to the health issues because they're important. You know, women are impacted and at risk for a lot of things. Breast cancer. You know, I was terrified of breast cancer. I'm still a little afraid of it, but all people don't die from breast cancer. Many people have had it, and yet if you find it in time, you can get help. Mammograms. I need to get a mammogram. We talked about maternal issues, and of course, we're not doctors, but we need to understand that these are challenging things that we're up against. Uh, Lupus. If you don't know, you don't know. When you know, you know. Don't take things for granted. Like when I was 10 and I had a pain, it doesn't mean the same thing at 57 that it did at 10 years old. I must take, I must take into my hands my health. Menopause. Oh, oh boy. Any woman facing menopause, it's like reverting itself from, it's like going backwards in life. Menopause, something that you don't want to experience, and if you live, excuse me, long enough, you will experience it. Just ask your grandmother or your mom all about it. Women are facing strokes. Women are facing so many issues. Please take care of yourselves. We won't go into the medical part because we are not doctors, but I want you to challenge yourself as you are women. women, maternal grandmothers, matriarchs, the bone of the family. You sit in seats to start legacy of grandchildren. You sit in seats to be able to show your daughters and your nieces how to do it. That's real leadership. What makes you you? We talk about women, not just our biological makeup or our gender, but who you are as that biological person and your identity, what you stand for. You're human, but you have a makeup. Do you know? Do you access what you're made of? Not just a woman that says, I am woman, but what are you standing for? Are you just another pretty face? Or are you something that when your last day comes and or you're put to rest and I'm put to rest, what will they say about me as a woman? You go through pregnancy, you go through uh, first a girl starts changing into a woman. We all remember that if we're women. You remember we started to wear training bras, and I was so embarrassed to wear a training bra. And my mother used to buy me these underwear sets that matches. I don't know if you guys remember that because they don't make them like they used to, and they used to have the days of the week on them. And then all of a sudden, I got a training bra. That's called adolescence. We're embarrassed because why? We're becoming young women. And so mom has to have that talk with us. Wow, we grow up, we start our adolescence, and all you women know what comes next. Our menstruation and the miracle of being able to have a child. And some of us can start as early as 11. I remember I started as early as 11. Freaked out. Called my mom at work. What is going on? There's something wrong with me. Those are hard years, but they really just help you to realize that you're going through what is natural. You young girls, because it's a lot of young girls who are young mothers. And sometimes, because your body is not ready for it, you might experience very different changes. Because raising children are very hard. There's a lot of young mothers. Have you guys noticed that? It's a lot of young mothers, and we want to get into being able to access the young mothers so that they know how to help the children that they are giving life. What an experience. We want you to challenge yourself to become best at being a woman, knowing your body, knowing the parts of your body. You know, I don't know if they're doing it now because I have not been in education for more than 10 years right now. But they used to have a health class. Everybody remember that? Trish, do you remember the health class?
Yep, they still got it.
Okay. So in the health class, they would talk about a girl in adolescence and her body and how to have a or actually prepare you with the feminine pads for your menstruation and just have a talk. But where does that start as you are becoming a woman? Should it really start at school? Because now they're offering these kids, these young kids as young as 13, they say birth control, childbirth prevention. Well, if we study the anatomy of the body and realizing it might bring a different thought. Because some women, and you can look this up on becoming a woman, a girl, her body changes and she now can have a baby. Look on the internet and it might surprise you at how young someone can be to have a baby. I think it's the parents' job to be able to do this. If your mothers are not in your life for any reasons, talk to someone mature. What do you expect of yourself as a woman? You some people make it very plain and clear. You're not going to treat me like that. I'm no doormat. I'm not your Barbie doll. But do you really mean it? You say you're a complete woman and you're all that. What is completion as a mother, daughter, and a sister? Are you loving and caring about anybody that's in your life? Do you keep a good home? Are you a loyal person? Or are you out with this person, that person, and the other? Do you like kids? Do you want to run everything? As you say, you are a complete woman. Being a woman requires so much. But what type of woman are you? Stop taking it for granted when you walk around and you say, I'm a woman. Because there's no pretending to be a woman. Women go through so much. I want you to think about it. I want you to appreciate and celebrate yourselves respectfully if you want to be respected. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I promise.
Hey, we'd love to hear your story, so make sure you give our toll-free Direct Connect a call. That's 1-888-721-9260. That's 1-888-721-9260. It's that Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Facing the lion is always positive. And so I ask you today, as we are going to be facing our lions or challenges of the week, what did you face this week that was challenging? We're back, and it's all about challenges of being a woman in honor of National Women's Month. Here's Trish with Trish's Treasure.
So when I was a kid, I would play dress up. And me and my sisters, we would pretend to be um rich ladies at a tea party, the garden club, the brunch club in your community. We would pretend to be them with the British accents. Like those were great times. Those are great times, and it just reminded me of like what kind of woman I wanted to be. And I always wondered like what interests me into pretending to be that kind of woman as a kid. And I remember my parents, they would let us watch like vintage movies, like classical movies with like Ginger Rogers, Judy Garland, Lena Horne, all those people. And it just fascinated me to see that they had a mind of their own. And when they played their role, they always played a role of someone that was in in power, or someone that was very independent, sure of themselves, and confident. And so I was like, I want to be like that. I'd like to be like that. And I always loved Disney. Disney also gave me an idea of what a woman is is supposed to be, or it gave me a blueprint of what I would like to see myself being. Like uh Tiana, she was independent. Rapunzel, she was free spirited. Jasmine, she wanted to be she wanted to be independent and be the queen. And Snow White, she always stayed true to herself, regardless of the evil queen chasing her. She still was kind and stayed true to herself. And those examples right there, it instilled in me confidence, and it made me feel like I have the ability to do that. I can do that. And so it just makes me think about, do I feel that way now about myself? Does little me still feel like that? Does the older me still feel like how the little me felt in playing pretend and playing princess and wanting to be a princess at 6 years old? And I still feel like that. And there are certain times where I don't feel like that, but I always think about, okay, I'm still a woman. I can't really change that, so I still have time to grow as a woman. And just remembering that, just remember who you are looking into the mirror. And that's a lot to do with reflection of who you want to be, and accepting you regardless of if others don't accept you. And I remember that I was going through my my music, and I was thinking about, well, okay, I like my music. I think I make good music. I believe so. And um so as I'm going through it, I think about, what if somebody just saw me and they're like, who is that? Like, who is that person? Queen Fire, who is that? And I actually made a song called Who Is That? And the lyrics talk about if someone's like wondering who I am, who's that girl with the afro looking to the sky with passion. Says she's all about love. Every song is a different attraction, you know? And I talk about how I always wear an afro. And one of the lyrics talk about she's a proud black woman. I am. And I love the fact that that song right there, it was risky for me because I had to find the confidence for that, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I sound confident on the track, but I had to find that within myself as a woman. And I'm glad I did because I'm very proud of that song. So, for all the women out there, um, I hope you learn to accept the person that you see in the mirror. I hope you learn who you are as a person and stay true to yourself.
Love that. That was beautiful. Love, love, love that. And with that, we want for all women here, all women world over, to be able to gain that confidence, to know who you are, to gain access to yourself before anyone else does, and to know what you want to be when you mature. You know, kids always tell us what they want to be when they get older. But I want you to be able to be all that you can be. Last year, we had a segment for women that was based on Barbie. This year, we're having the segment on facing the challenges. Just be a woman. Be woman enough to check in to yourself. And every girl, sister, mother, niece, and daughter, aunties, grandmothers, you are women. Thank you for sharing this week with us. Look for us. We are streaming all over the place, our YouTube page. Thank you for the growth. And until next time, we will see you next week. Don't forget to that you can be with me Saturday nights and Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Okay, that's West Coast Los Angeles time because I'm in the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, check your time. But my Vibe Talk After Dark radio show is all about smooth and chill music. Don't forget, you can join that too. Thank you, Trish, so much for your Trish's Treasures. Yeah, Trish's Treasures can be found also on YouTube. Her music is very powerful, very inspiring, and check that out in the comments. Thank you, Trish. You are amazing. And thank you to the audience. Until next time, we will see you then. Be safe, everybody. Facing the lion.